Hi everyone, I'm Demi and today I'm going to do a little comparative analysis of both Arthurian legend and the tales of Beedle the Bard. And I'm going to talk about wizard and non-magical society in both universe. So my thesis is J.K. Rowling's supplementary work, The Tales of Beedle the Bard, stabilize and concretize the podverse as a functional Foucauldian heterotopia by revealing how ancient wizard community merged into and separated from non-magical society, which shows some semblance of Merlin and Morgan Le Fay's position in non-magical community in Arthurian legend. So, as we all know, here is a few I think it's a bunch of historical documents which record our several wizard or witches events in our history. So, as we all know, wizard could be taken as on one hand, people need their help as a healer or protector, and they got a bunch of information. And in ancient times, they are like the wise men in the village. However, on the other hand, people also fear and lost their unpredictable and supernatural power, so they kind of take them as devil's advocate or something like that. And so, as we all know, they start a witch hunt later on. So let's move on to Arthurian legend. As you all know, the Arthurian legend is also a huge universe, so I still trying to figure out how which work I should put it into my paper. So I didn't list the name of the work here, but I will do it in my paper. So, as we all know, Merlin and Morgan Le Fay's position in non-magical society are quite different. They are similar but different in the story. So it's like I think these two figures are like the Mobius band. They are two sides of the wizard figure. However, they can look each other's image from the other one's shadow. So first, I'm going to talk about the birth of Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. So according to different documents, Merlin has different births. It's like he could be half human, half wizard, or half human, half incubus. Anyway, he is not a pure human, so we can assume he has magic in his blood. However, Morgan Le Fay's parents are both human beings, so like in the Paraverse, she was Mugborn, so she learned the witchcraft from hard working and by, I don't know, so it's a little different between these two figures. And their attitude toward ordinary people are also different, because we can see Merlin kind of have a fun on muggles. He helped Arthur and his knight a lot. So we can take him as the former characteristic I mentioned before, that as a healer and protector, even the warrior in the court. And as for Morgan Le Fay, she only wants to revenge and gain her power. So there's the difference between them. However, as I mentioned before, that they are the Mobius band. So in other documents, it might be. There is one adaptation that Morgan Le Fay is the daughter of Merlin. So there's a I will discuss more in my paper. And so my point is, I see wizard in non-magical world in Arthurian legend as a deus ex machina. So this term is means God from the machine. It means a plot device whereby a seemingly unsolvable problem is suddenly solved by a certain character. Here is the wizard. So they are like they are merged into the Muggle society. However, they are also in a certain position that, like, even practicing like God. So, however, there's also the next point is the human part in both of them leads to their self-destruction. For Merlin, we knows that he trusts people too much, so he sometimes feel he's been betrayed by people, and he also trapped by the woman he loved. So it's the Merlin's case. And as for Morgan Le Fay, she trying to revenge, and this is I don't know, it's like humans' emotion, something like that. So yeah, the human part leads to their self-destruction, which could symbolize the human being, how human being try to hunt wizard later on. And then let's move on to our Potterverse. So J.K. Rowling mentioned several times of Merlin in her Harry Potter series, but she only mentioned Merlin and Morgan Le Fay as a concept. They never appears in this series literally. So, like for example, Merlin and Morgan Le Fay appears on chocolate frog card, and there's an award named Order of Merlin, something like that. So they are like the people in the textbook. So as a historical characters. So I think these two people as concept builds consolidate historical background of fantasy wizard world. And in Rowling's website Pottermore, she also mentioned Merlin's Hogwarts experience, that he was sorted into Slytherin. However, unlike his fellow Slytherin, he got his reputation for fighting for Muggles' rights. So I think this is interesting to discuss. And then finally, here's our Tales of Beedle the Bard. This work has first mentioned in Harry Potter series as children literature in wizard world. It's like our Grimm story and Andersen story, something like that. So it's kind of famous in the wizarding world. So and then Rowling published it as a independent work and used the ton of fairy tales in these stories. The most famous one is the story of three brothers, but I'm not going to mention here. The following two are the two stories I choose to explain my idea. The first one is The Wizard and the Hopping Bob. This story is about an old wizard who trying to help dedicate himself to help his Muggle neighbor by brewing potion and some medicine from in his pot. So in this story, you can see wizard as healer and protector in ancient wizard world. And then the second one is Babbity Rabbity and her cracking stone. This one mentioned a tyrant who want to control both magical and non-magical power and try to hunt down all the wizard and trying to learn some witchcraft. And this one also happened to be an original document of anime. It is a wizard who can transform into animal without spell and still keep their human mind, something like that. Yeah. So in both story, Rowling adds Dumbledore's notes after her stories, and Dumbledore in both stories, Dumbledore mentioned the International Statute of Wizarding Secrecy in 1689. It's a law that in Potterverse that wizard can voluntarily went underground But I think before and after these international status, wizard societies serve different function as his heterotopia in Potterverse. Here, let's move on to Foucault's concept of heterotopia. Here is a description from Foucault's In the Other Space. The space in which we live withdraw us out of ourselves, in which the erosion of our life, our time and our history occur. The space enclosed and at us. It is also in itself a heterogeneous space. It is still ambiguous here, so let's move on to the example. Let's skip the example of the mirror to do the time. So, wizard society in Arthurian legend and world wizard society before the international street is much. The characteristic of wizard society is private, secretive, and individual, and much more merged into non-magical community. After the international statute, wizard society becomes separated from the non-magical society. So here is a concept of crisis heterotopia, Foucault's concept, that these are privileged or scarred or forbidden place which reserved for individuals who are in relation to society and to the human environment in which they live in a state of crisis. For example, adolescents or pregnant women or old fellows, something like that. And here in our case is wizard kind. So this heterotopia always presupposes a system of opening and closing the both isolate them and makes them penetrable. In general, the heterotopic site is not freely accessible like a public place. So it's like another site in our world which cannot freely accessible. And in conclusion, I think Rowling's supplementary work, not only the Beedle of the Bard, the Tales of Beedle the Bard, but also the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and the history of British match, and even her website Pottermore, are serve as another kind of heterotopia. For its works like museums and libraries. These kinds of heterotopias are most often linked to the slice in time. The heterotopia begins to function at full capacity when men arrive at a sort of absolute break with their traditional time. So I think this supplementary work provides us a more conceived historical background and complete the universe of Harry Potter series. So this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.